In the history of African football, in fact, not more than 6 African countries have been able to qualify to represent the whole Africa in FIFA World Cup. But as we talk of in 2026, about 10 African countries, in fact, 10 African countries qualified to play for FIFA World Cup of 2026. And that's a very, very great achievement for Africa. That is not all. Out of the 10 African countries, 9 African countries have been able to qualify from group stage to round of 32. Have you thought about this? How did Africa even manage to proceed from group stage to round of 32 with 9 African countries, except only Tunisia that couldn't make it up to the round of 32? And here I'm going to give you all the list of the 9 African countries that have made it from group stage to round of 32. I'll give you all the names and give you the group that the country was able to emerge from. And here are the list of all the African countries that have made it all the way from group stage to round of 32. So now South Africa emerged from Group A, and they were the first African country to qualify to round of 32. In Group C, Morocco is another African country that is able to qualify for the round of 32. And from Group C, there was no any African country from Group D that is able to represent Africa in the round of 32. And all down to Group E, and that was Cote d'Ivoire. In fact, Cote d'Ivoire have also done a very, very great job, and we are looking up to see them in the next round of 16. And all down to Group G. In Group G was Egypt. In fact, Egypt also have done a very, very great job in this particular year FIFA World Cup. Then from G to H, and that was Cabo Verde. Then from there to Group I, and that was Senegal. If you actually observe this particular year's match, Senegal displayed how skilled and talented it was. When they faced Norway, it was one of the toughest match that Norway have ever seen. You come to see how Senegal was able to play, even after first half, when Norway tried to manipulate and lead the match again, Senegal was struggling just to make sure that they equalized. But it was unfortunate that Senegal wasn't able to equalize Norway, and they came out with 3-2 against Norway. In fact, they did very well, and they also emerged as one of the countries to represent Africa in the round of 32. And that was not all. Then from Senegal, we go to Group J, and that was Algeria. From Group J, we come down to Group K, and Group K, it was DR Congo who represented Africa in the round of 32. Then the very last group was Group L, and then that was Ghana. You come to see how Ghana made England to struggle, even though in that particular match England wanted to win them, but it was unfortunate that they ended up drawing the match, and that initially qualified Ghana to the round of 32 without even playing their third match. And this is a very, very great achievement for the whole Africa. As Africans, we ought to celebrate. We should be happy, we should be rejoicing, because in no football history has African countries qualified to the round of 32 with more than 5 African countries. If we look back in the history of football, in 2010, Africa presented 6 African countries. Out of these 6 African countries, only 2 were able to proceed to the group stage. In 2014, they presented 5 African countries. 5 African countries were able to qualify to play the FIFA World Cup in 2014. Out of the 5 African countries, only 2 countries were able to proceed. And now in 2018, the same way 5 African countries qualified. In 2022, 5 African countries qualified. In 2026, that was where the surprises came, where Africa is able to present about 10 African countries qualifying for the FIFA World Cup of 2026. And that was not all. After they have all qualified, the other thing that happened is that 9 African countries, that is about 90% of the total countries that were brought in for the FIFA World Cup from Africa. In fact, 90% of all the African countries have qualified to the round of 32. The other thing I'm going to share with you is that we are going to look forward to see which of the African country will proceed from round of 32 to round of 16 and all down to quarterfinals and all those places, and we see how they are going to actually emerge. And then we also see whether Africa is capable of winning the FIFA World Cup of 2026. To me, I have that feeling that Africa is very, very much likely to get to semi-finals, and then they are also likely to take the cup of 2026 FIFA World Cup. In my next video, I'm going to reveal to you all the 32 countries that have qualified to play the round of 32, and you don't want to miss this video, so do stick tuned. Share this video to a friend, give us a like, and I'll meet you so soon in my next video. This is Net Power. Stay connected, stay ahead. Bye bye.